It did not make the atheists on Reddit particularly happy, but I'm very impressed with Artemis II pilot Victor Glover's decision to use his platform and his audience and space to speak to the world about the love of Jesus Christ as a first priority when he had that opportunity. He took that window of time that he had the spotlight on him, and he spoke openly about humanity's sin, the need for forgiveness, and how Jesus is the path to being right with God. He says, among other things, we have a sin nature and we need Jesus. Jesus is that bridge that spans sin and gives us the opportunity of going to heaven. What Victor has done here goes beyond what a lot of Christians would do in this kind of position, where if they acknowledge their faith at all, they do it in very generic, vague terms, just to make it palatable to people of all faiths and backgrounds. But not so Victor Glover. He uses courage, because undoubtedly it took courage, and he uses the name of Jesus specifically, and that's a good sign. And he talks about sin, which is also a good sign. Those aren't necessarily popular things to talk about, and they're not necessarily the first thing that comes to mind as an opportunity that you have when you're on a space mission. But he chooses to do it because that's what's important. I also really respect that Victor Glover, he's a black astronaut, and he's, as you would expect for a black astronaut, given opportunities by the media to sort of pontificate about the consequences of his race in going to space. And he refuses to take that bait. In this interview, he says really him going to space it's not about black history, it's not about women's history, because there's also a female astronaut who's kind of a history-making individual on this mission. He says it's not about either of those, it's just about human history, right? He says he hopes to get past that stuff. And that's a pretty clear message that Victor is a responsible individual who would really like to put the insane identity politics of race behind him, and he just wants to be a good American who makes his country proud, but first and foremost makes his God proud by speaking the truth about him in a very public place.